that Roach may be the most skillful fighter you have fought in your career. Do you agree with that assessment, and how would you rate Roach's skills?
I agree. I totally agree. He got good skills. That's why he's here. You know what I mean?
I don't really care too much about the outside critics. I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out and give it my all and perform. And most likely, 9 times out of 10, when I do that, I'll be victorious.
Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach faced off at their first press conference yesterday ahead of their highly anticipated rematch, and you could sense the intensity in the Las Vegas atmosphere. This fight clearly means a lot to Tank. Leonard Ellerbe and Calvin Ford were back in his corner, sitting beside him at the main table. They each took a moment to speak before the fighters had their turn. Lamont Roach was the first to step up to the microphone. He kept it brief and respectful, thanking everyone involved.
From Tank.
I take that compliment very well, and it lets me know that he is 100% focused, and that he gonna bring his A game. You know, that's what's all a part of this. Is gonna make it a great fight. That's what a lot of people are missing. That's what, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people don't get. So that's the thing right there. Like he's attentive, he's aware, and he know that, and that's part of the, you know, that's what got him here.
I know I faced the best version of Tank in that first fight, but I hope he comes back even better this time. I'm ready for whatever version shows up, and I'm coming in with more, Roach said before heading back to his seat. Leonard Ellerbe, always vocal for Team Davis, had spoken just before Roach. He made it clear that Tank had been going through personal issues during the last match, suggesting that Roach...
I'll say Tank Davis. We gonna see. He's gonna let you know. There are a few things on the table, so we'll see what happens. In your opinion, does Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson ever happen? Of course. Why not? Why not? That's the fight the world wants.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Roach, but the Tank that fought in March wasn't the real Tank. He was dealing with a lot, and we should have been there for him, but we weren't. That ended up costing us, Ellerbe explained. This isn't just about Tank making a comeback, it's about all of us coming back together. And I don't think Roach is going to make it to the final bell once the action starts. Roach later answered those comments directly.
When it got active, do you go into a press conference like, I'm trying to make a movie or I'm trying to match energy? Like, what's your approach to a press conference?
Be chilling, like how we all right now. You hear me? Like, yeah. I be in my element. 9 times out of 10, I'm thinking about the fight and what I'm gonna do. But
when Gervonta Tank Davis finally stepped up to speak, his tone was serious and focused. You can tell he's dialed in this time. He seems to have taken the last fight to heart and wants to avoid the same mistakes. Thank you to everyone who's still standing by me. I've grown, I've learned. I've been down, but I'm coming back stronger on August 16th. I'm letting go of everything that's been building up inside, Tank said to the crowd.
I rule a weekend. I rule a weekend for sure. He just doing what he have to do, trying to psych himself out for the fight and things like that. But come off the fridge, it's all about skill versus skill, and who had the better skill that night is going to be the victorious person.
A lot of people feel like it's Tank who's got something to prove in this fight. He was the heavy favorite before and rarely goes the full distance, only twice in his whole career. That's why fans are calling this his shot at redemption. Since Lamont Roach...
Great talent, you know, fighting on the card Saturday night. So I just want to be here and give it my all. You know, I'm grateful and happy to be a part of this event and be able to be at this level in my career. So I want to just say thank y'all for coming out.
But here's the twist. Plenty of folks think Lamont Roach was actually the one who got robbed. The draw in their last matchup, many say that came down to bad judging. A lot of criticism was aimed at the judges, the ref, the WBA, and the New York State Athletic Commission. So, if anyone's owed revenge, it could be Roach, who may have had a career-defining win taken from him by a poor decision.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, that's a good question. It's gonna be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room.
This rematch gets even juicier when you realize it might lead to a third fight. For Gervonta Davis, who's never had to do a rematch before, a trilogy is a major deal. Over the years, fans have talked about him possibly rematching Ryan Garcia or Isaac Pitbull Cruz, but it never happened. That all changed when Lamont Roach came in and pushed Tank to the limit. Most fans believe this second fight could play out just like the first. Both fighters are sharp, skilled, and Roach's ability to take Tank shots and keep coming is a serious advantage.
Go ahead and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled him. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
If Tank thinks he's just going to knock Roach out this time, he might be in for a surprise. He'll need to focus more on tactics and outboxing Roach to win. Roach is no pushover. He's durable, tough, and doesn't go down easily. In fact, it was Tank who got rocked with a clean shot from Roach in their last fight. Roach loves to fight inside, in close range, right where the danger is. And that's a problem for Tank, who's used to opponents backing off the moment.
When you lock up, is he strong? Too small. Say that man too small, bro. Y'all in the same weight class.
That's a new weight class for me. A new weight class for me.
That's what I'm saying. That night y'all was in the same weight class. And you still feel like he too small?
He was too small.
Dang.
You just calling a spade. No disrespect, no nothing. He was just too small. I've been in there with some big guys.
There's a lot at stake in this rematch, and that press conference was just the starting point. The build-up will continue all the way to August. Their first meeting, which ended in a hotly debated draw on March 1st, left fans eager for answers. The boxing world hasn't stopped talking about it, with many calling for this rematch.
Tank want a rematch. Do you let me know now? Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he open to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%.
again?
It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
I wouldn't mind, but I'd love for it to be in DC.
Okay. Cool.
I'd love for it to be in DC.
It didn't take long for both camps to agree to do it again. According to Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated, a Tank Roach rematch could happen as early as June 21st in Las Vegas. Both camps are locked in. Now that the date and location for Davis versus Roach 2 are almost official, the internet has gone wild. Fans are taking sides, and a lot of them are putting their money on Roach. One fan even posted 2 pictures from the first fight saying,
I just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we taking?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's gonna be soon. I'm hoping it's gonna be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July for sure.
One fan shared a funny GIF showing a cockroach swinging a lightsaber, clearly cheering for Roach. But plenty of others are backing Davis in the rematch. One supporter commented, I had Roach winning the first fight 115 to 113, but I think Tank will make the right changes and win this one. Roach will fight hard, but I see Tank knocking him out late. Another fan jumped in with their take. The excitement for this rematch is picking up fast as the date gets closer. That first fight created a buzz we hadn't seen.
That was the first fight in a long time when Tank first started. His body was that defined. You see how his body looked?
Looking back, that first fight seemed like just another routine night for Gervonta Davis and his crew. When the matchup with Lamont Roach was announced, nobody in Davis's camp seemed too concerned. Roach was well-known, had a decent record, and even held a title, but most still saw him as the smaller guy, the one expected to lose. But Roach came in hungry to make a statement. He boxed smart from the outside in the early rounds. And even when Davis pushed the fight inside and made him...
In that DMV area, there's a lot of talent, and nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to lose. So I knew it was going to be a hard fight. This has been going on forever. We all help each other. They know our strengths, they know our secrets, we know theirs, and vice versa. So that is what made for a good fight.
The final bell, the crowd inside Brooklyn's Barclays Center looked stunned. After 36 minutes of non-stop action, nobody could say for sure who won. As the judges reviewed their scorecards, Team Davis stayed composed. But the confident faces slowly faded when the decision came in a majority draw. For the first time in his pro career, Davis left the ring without a victory. Backstage, he dropped into his chair while his team, including Barry Hunter, looked disappointed. Hunter, who had taken over from Calvin Ford in the corner, felt the judges got it wrong. In his view, Davis had passed a serious test.
Half of the fight. Well, I knew he would be hungry. I knew he was going to fight extremely hard. I told you earlier, Lamont Roach was never a cheat date, so we knew that going into this fight. I thought there were times, there were opportunities when we were inside. We should have took advantage of a few things on the inside, but for the most part, this was a fight based on strategy. This was a fight, actually.
There's no point beating around the bush. Hunter was convinced Davis pulled off those last few rounds and did enough to win. We respect their side, he told us News, but I think the final 2 rounds sealed it for us. He's sure they edged it. Now, heading into the rematch, Davis gets one shot to prove it if he stays true to the grind like he said he would after the fight. The disappointing draw pushed him to promise only a short week off before jumping right back into the gym.
What's going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the, I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need, what is it called? Yeah, man.
Whatever's happening in Davis's world, fans are fired up for the rematch with Roach. This time, people want to see Davis back up what he once told Roach. I'm going to chop Bob and weave and finish it in round 9. I like exposing guys who aren't what they claim to be. I prove it to them and their team. When I won my first belt, nobody believed in me.
I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Tank Eric Blum from DailyMail.com. First off, your coach just said, can you confirm, did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring?
Now, let's talk about how it all unfolded. Davis, a 5-time champion across 3 weight classes, came back to Barclays Center, the same place where he packed the house and broke records by knocking out Rolando Romero in May 2022. At the press conference before facing Roach, the old rivalry reignited, one that stretched back to their amateur days, and the build-up promised a fight worth watching.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at 9th.
I'm telling him, you going down in a 9th? You know that power carry late.
I know you got some sneaky power. That's what I do know.
What?
Who said that? You said what?
Man,
you said what?